CHÅLOFA! What's up? This is the Islanders View podcast with the Backyard Convos. We're experiencing the backyard conversation of Islanders. It's your boy JC, B.
How's it?
And the Uso Jr.
How's it, everybody?
We're just talking about worldviews, life experiences, culture, sports. You know, we're just chilling, kicking back, speaking our minds. Yeah, you're about to go into a mind of an Islander right about now.
CHÅLOFA!
CHÅLOFA, everybody. What's going down?
CHÅLOFA!
What's up, guys?
It's Friday already?
How's it?
Friday already.
Jeez. Went by quick. Went by quick this week.
What's going on, AB? You're supposed to change your name.
My blunder.
Oh, man. Mayan blunder, huh? Too much technical difficulties.
Too much.
Too much. Well, how you guys doing, man? You guys ready for this show?
Yeah.
Sir, been ready all week.
Man,
hey, welcome to session number 47. Woo, 47. Yep.
47, man.
One of my friends saw
47.
that post,
I know.
and he was like, "Dang, dude, 47 already?" I was like, "I know, went by
Right.
fast."
That's crazy.
For real.
I remember the first one you guys did, man, and time has honestly gone by very fucking quick.
Yeah.
For real, man.
We were just talking about that the other week. The first one to now has just changed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting better.
Yep. Hey,
You guys are, man.
to all our listeners and viewers, welcome to the show. Welcome to session number 47. Please help us show some love and welcome our brothers, Leo and Kevin. What's going on, guys?
What's
Welcome to the
up?
show, man. Thank you guys for joining us.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
we
Thank
have
you,
a-
guys.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, is Leo taught?
Yeah, Leo does. Hey, Kevin was doing his thing. I'm one interrupting.
What's up, guys? I thought it was a stuffed animal back there.
No, you good. You good.
I thought Leo had froze, but I'm the same.
It's both of them.
Hey, welcome to the show, guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
Welcome.
Hey, if it's your first time here, please subscribe, like the video, share the love, because that's what we do here at the Islanders View. We just show the love, share the love, and welcome to the show, guys.
Yes,
We have a
yes.
very important topic today, but before we get into that, you guys know how we start our sessions with our beverage highlight. We're going to go around the table. Everyone just tell us what you guys are drinking for the show, and we'll get the show going. Go ahead, B. Hit it up.
Well, this is my first time trying this. It's a Goose Island IPA.
Hey, Goose Island.
Yeah, this is,
Nice.
whenever I go to like the bars, I always see that white
Yeah.
gooseneck that they pull down, but I've never been the one to lean towards it. It says hoppy, grapefruited, refreshing taste, but I don't know. I don't know.
What you doing, Leo?
Some high quality H2O.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's
yes.
about.
Nice. All right, Junior, what you got, Junior?
Well, I'm joining Leo with the water.
Nice.
Well, actually, I just bought this bottle because I'm trying to drink more water. So I've been drinking this, but I did get some beer too for today too. But
What beer are you drinking there?
ready.
Sam Man.
Hey,
Sam Adams, dude.
Samuel Adams.
It's a
Can't go
limited
wrong with
release.
Sam Adams.
Cold Snap White Ale. It's a limited release, so it's a seasonal beer, only here for the winter. So I thought I'd check it out before it's gone. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to my daughters, Tassi and Teddy, for this gear here. You can find at tadasi.myshopify.com.
Hey.
Nice.
Sweet.
That's beautiful.
Samoan.
That's cool, man.
Come on.
Period.
Period.
What you got, Kev? What you got?
I got a classic Heineken, Islanders' favorite,
Green bottles.
and
yeah,
also
green
drinking some leftover New Year's whiskey, Glenlivet. Founders Reserve.
Nice.
Nice.
Single malt Scotch whiskey.
All
Yeah,
right,
some good stuff.
I'm gonna be doing some Kentucky bourbon whiskey. It's Rowan's Creek.
Rowan's Creek.
Yep, look at that.
Mm.
Yep,
Nice.
distilled in
Nice.
Kentucky. Yes, it is.
I like how you're staying on the whiskey tip.
Yeah.
You know it. You know it. You know it. I try.
Whiskey lullaby.
Yeah, that's a sad song, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Whiskey helps.
Man, maybe you should move this up. But yeah, so hey, to everyone that has a drink in their hand, our listeners and viewers, raise your glass if you have a drink in your hand. Session number 47.
Hey,
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you guys for joining us. We love you guys. One love and God bless. Chalofa.
Chalofa.
Yeah.
Chalofa.
Chalofa. Iba.
That's hoppy.
Ooh.
We're
This
that
one
much
is
closer
really
to 50,
nice.
guys.
Smooth.
Ooh, yeah.
Smooth.
That's real smooth. That is. We are very close to 50.
Hey, the Sam Adams beer is pretty good. Really good. I'll probably drink this again.
Look at
Nice.
you, Junior. When we
Right?
first met, bro, you was like, hey, craft beer, Blue Moon.
Heineken.
Heineken.
Oh, before we
drink
get
the Islands.
Oh yeah. Before we get into our topic too as well, I just want to remind everybody, if you still want to donate to the Tongan Tsunami Relief, you can donate at GoFundMe. Don't forget to go and support the cause, guys.
Yeah. They're finally
All
going
right,
to get their
so-
internet back, right?
What's that?
They're finally going to get their internet back soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the relief was trying to help them do that.
Nice. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna go into our topic, gentlemen. Real quick, who chose this topic again?
I think it was unanimous.
JC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should all have talked about this.
Yeah, it was unanimous. It's something that we all need to talk about.
No, it is something
Oh,
we need
yeah.
to talk about. But I thought, if I was not mistaken, that wasn't it, Leo? Didn't you choose this? Didn't you want to talk about this or no?
Yeah, I do like to talk about it often. It's very important.
Yeah, I thought it was
Absolutely.
because I thought B requested it per
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
on your
yeah, we
request.
have, we have been talking. Well, we've always talked about it, but I feel like it's something that all men should be discussing, especially as we get older and have families, have responsibilities, all those things.
Yeah. What Leo was talking
Totally
about.
agree.
Our topic today, to our listeners and viewers and our gentleman on the show, is men's mental health. Very important topic that's not being talked about a whole lot, and we need to keep pushing the awareness. I believe it's June and November. I think June is National Men's Health, as far as like exercising, staying healthy, dieting, which
Yeah.
also helps with men's health awareness as far as medical wise. What we're talking about today, mental health, mental illness. It's a very important thing. I don't know if anyone on here has any statistics on top of their head. Do you guys do any research?
Yeah, one thing I know is that I think it's like 70% of all, or almost 80% of all suicides are men in this country.
Yeah.
Forgot exactly what the number is, but as far as the court system and child care, child support, men have to pay alimony and child support at a significantly higher rate than women do for equal pay and jobs. I forgot what the number is, but
Yeah.
it's swayed in a direction that doesn't help us, and then that doesn't help the legal system and the prison system is already geared towards pushing us to those things already. So there's a lot that goes on that is, I would say, disparaging for a lot of men, especially like Black and brown, because it affects us significantly more than any other group.
Oh yeah.
And you can't, I feel like in anybody that's black or brown in their family, you can't go too far without finding somebody that's either been to prison or is in prison. Like you can't go too far. Like, yeah, it's a lot that goes on, and we just don't have a lot of the resources that we need to be able to speak to issues we're having and just have safe spaces. That's why one of my things is majorly to create safe spaces and maintain those things. Right? Brandon talk often. I have a community of men, women, people who don't identify with a gender, like just community that I've built over the years to really just hold space for me as a black man, because that's very important. Because if I leave it to media and culture and society, they'll say I'm a criminal for just existing. And you can't give criminals and transgressors grace or peace or benefit of the doubt most of the time. So it's just a beautiful thing for me to have my community and have those things to me to stay sane. Because for me, I'll just be vulnerable. My dad passed December of 2020.
Yeah.
And if I wouldn't have had my dad and have him teach me how to be a man, how to handle my emotions, how to operate, how to just move through the world, and also about death and how to cope with it, I would have been in a much worse place.
Yeah.
And then I had Brandon, I had Ashley, I had my people to really just hold me up and love on me through that.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's just a testament to taking my mental health seriously, because I feel like a lot of men don't, and we just go with that programming that we have, that we don't have emotions, we can't speak about things, if you do you're weak, and just all the stuff that
the program, like you said,
program that doesn't make sense or it doesn't benefit us.
I mean, speaking of numbers, I know I read on a website. It's actually mindwise.org. If you guys want to look at it, but they say nearly 1 out of 10 men experience depression and anxiety. That's according to a poll of 21,000 American men by researchers at the National Center of Health and Statistics. Woo, that's
statistics.
Statistics.
I can't say simultaneous.
I think it was the stylistic. But yeah. So, and also, they say that 3 out of 4 suicides are men. And that being said,
absolutely.
With that being said, suicide is the second leading cause of death. From what just bunch of videos I read, I watched on YouTube, and articles that I read. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Because there's that stigma, like Leo was talking about, there's that stigma, right? With men, we're kind of like raised into that, right? And one of the videos that I watched, and we're going to touch on these things and try to stay on these topics as we move along. But one of those things is we can't show weakness, like Leo was saying, right? And where do we get that from? From a YouTube channel that I was watching. There's a gentleman. His name is Cole Hastings. If you guys want to look him up on YouTube, his video is pretty good. He talks about that. It kind of starts when we're kids. If we when we start watching movies and cartoons, all we know are superheroes.
Yeah.
Right? And
watching
so that
G.I. Joe and all that stuff.
And what do we get from that? We're watching that and we're soaking that all in. We're like sponges as kids, right? So we want to believe that to be a man or to be a superhero, there's no weakness, and if there is, they don't really emphasize, showing emotion, weakness, crying, breaking down. It's always going hard, just busting through things, and that's in our minds what we think it takes to be a man, and that's what we're kind of like taught, and that's how we're raised.
Like unbreakable, right? So I think that stigma, like you're saying, JC, is you know, we're supposed to be this wall, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go at it just to break that wall down. You had said something earlier, and it's the, like Leo said, the programming and the upbringing. And it reminded me of something. I was out with Ash and Mav, and we were eating somewhere, and someone had said, a little boy fell and he started to cry. It's pain, right?
Yeah.
It's pain. She picked him up and she's like, look at me. Boys do not cry.
Yeah.
And that's like programming a child, especially with men or boys leading up to men, right? It's like that whole thing, like men don't cry. And that's where it leads to, you know, suppressing the anger or suppressing the sadness. And it's just like, when can men just let things out? You know?
Never.
Because then if you try to let it out,
you hold it in.
When you try to let it out, a lot of the times you'll get called weak or some other slur or whatever. When in reality, every emotion should be embraced. You shouldn't just be able to go to anger or happy or just nonchalant. Like men, there's so many feelings that are on the emotion spectrum. Like there's no reason why that's. And I don't really. For me, like Brandon was talking about, for upbringing, my upbringing challenges all of that. Like my mom and my dad sat me down, spoke to me about my feelings and emotions and how to speak to people, and taught me about their feelings and taught me how to communicate with each other and with family and with people, and taught me about nature and loving people and being empathetic and all of the things that my manhood is really defined by. And that's why I'm so glad I'm able to be in Maverick's life, because me and Brandon have talked about this. I'm able to be a positive influence, just like Brandon is on his child.
Yeah.
So he'll have a different upbringing, and hopefully it's very similar. Because the way I turned out, I can understand the whole spectrum of emotions. I can articulate it. I can talk about it. I can be who I really want to be. I embody who I really am at all times. Like I don't feel like I have to pretend or to try to be some version of a man that society told me to be. Because my programming says, if it feels good to me, just be that way.
Yeah.
And whoever likes it, likes
Indeed.
it. Doesn't. And
Absolutely.
that builds my confidence to what it is. And sometimes that can be seen as a weakness to some people, how vulnerable I am and all those things. But I stopped caring a long time ago because my parents just told me to. They said, so you're going to be able to be more at peace with yourself and with your community before those people that are like that are teasing you or making you feel less, trying to make you feel less than.
Yeah. You know, with us being men, there's a stigma just being men, but for us, it's like a double stigma because it's not just being men; it's being, you know, men of color, you know, black and brown. In our like being Islanders, you know, growing up, our backyard conversations that we have, we never talk about mental health. That's not one of our things when we're sitting in the backyard and we're talking about sports, movies, drinking, but never talk about our feelings. We never bring up our feelings, and if you know, nobody ever is comfortable doing that because we don't have that outlet. The backyard conversation was not made for mental health, wasn't made for these types of discussions, and it's a sad thing that we put that on ourselves, you know. That, but I think that us doing this today, maybe we'll change the backyard conversations where, you know, we could do this and open up to each other, because I mean, I think a lot of people could benefit from talking about their feelings and sharing their feelings. You know, with the statistics you shared, JC, I mean, you know, I was diagnosed with depression. I take medication for depression, you know, and I've never been able to admit it to people, but now I'm more open about it. I tell people my story. I tell them where I'm at, you know, I'm telling them, you know, what I've been through and all that. I've tried to commit suicide 3 times in my life. You know, I could have been another statistic too, you know, for 3 out of 4. But you know, good Lord kept me here to maybe share my story. So,
Yes,
and
sir.
you know, you need to put out that share your story and talk about it and tell people, and maybe it'll help someone else if they hear what you've been through. Maybe they can start saying that, hey, maybe I should talk about it too, because we know we never had that outlet when we were young, growing up. You know, with your cousins, your friends, islanders. You know, you try to tell them like, hey, I'm feeling kind of sad today. Oh, shut up, panty. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, when you got a lot of cousins, you know what I mean? Growing up, man, like it's always who's like the toughest dude out in the yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? You always want to be brave and strong in front of your cousins and stuff like that. And yeah, I want to say that's how it is growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you get older, I mean, you know, a lot of us get to experience what life has to offer, and it's not all good. You know what I mean? And we go through things in life, and we end up sharing it with our loved ones, with our the people we care about, and you got to let them know that you're vulnerable. You know what I mean? You got to be able to share these things.
And you also have to have people, and especially your significant other, to be able to accept you being that way. Because I feel like there's a because women are part of it. Well, yeah, women are part of the same system that they're affected by the same system that affects us all. So, if we can do all this talking right, but if our partners don't understand us and can be with the man that's actually vulnerable and not just strong every second of every day, like that's not going to help either, because then some women see men as less than too for being vulnerable, being able to speak, being able to talk. They can't handle it.
Like talking about that, it reminded me like two things, right? Having that partner that's going to support you. So if I want to say 3 days, 4 days before we left to get married.
Yeah,
man, things were not going my way. I swear, things were not it wasn't hitting.
Yeah.
So I reached that point. So I called Ash. I said, this, and this. And I guess you heard in my voice. She was, okay, I'm going to give you 1 day.
Yeah.
1 day to do what you need to do to get everything out. And then tomorrow we're going to get right back up. And we're going to keep pushing, right? So then it leads to two different spectrums, right? One, you got Ashley who's telling me, go ahead. If you need to break down, you can break down. But tomorrow we're going to keep pushing, right?
Yeah.
Because she needs me.
Yeah.
And it's like just like I need her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
And then on another spectrum, I saw that this lady was dating a young man, and she kept asking him like so many questions just to see if he's going to be vulnerable to her. You know, like a lot of women would expect a man to be vulnerable. Well, he called her one day because he needed to break down to her, and the man cried on phone with her, became vulnerable and transparent, and she breaks up with him because she saw that as weak. Cried.
Yeah.
So imagine where that took that man. Take that man right now. I'm like,
and that can create a monster.
Yeah.
A lot of men that are in like their early 20s and late teens, maybe our age, like the ones that are the most like womanizing and like really don't have much care for women at all other than sex, like that's where a lot of that stuff starts from. It starts from in the home and from a pain that hasn't been resolved. So, from a woman being cruel to them. Now, it doesn't justify it, but it's giving context. Because nobody deserves to be treated poorly on any end.
Not at all.
But like, and then we get there's enough men that have gone through it. You ain't gotta have no.
Hey Kev, you're gonna have to try to block that win.
Wind's coming in too strong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry,
block it.
Viewers. He's on the beautiful island of Guam, and it's very windy. So
very, very windy, especially today, man. This week has been very fucking crazy.
Yeah. But just to piggyback off what you guys were saying, especially what Kevin was saying about, having cousins and you're trying to be the tough one, the baddest one on the block. And I mean, like he has an older brother, right? So like on the flip side of that too, with having a brother, me being the oldest, like I want to like in my mind, I think it's right to be, all right, I'm a superhero. I need to show my brother that this is what it takes to be a man. Don't cry, be tough, keep pushing on, get up and dust it off and try again. All that good stuff, right? That's the big brother part, right? I'm going to show my brother I'm tough. And then on the other side, on my brother's side, like Kevin was saying, he's trying to prove himself to me. Like, I'm not going to cry. I can't cry. I can't show weakness because my brother's going to laugh at me or whatever the case may be, And it's just, it's all, I get, for us, like Junior was saying with being Islanders and the culture, and it was kind of like embedded in us. Like, you're an Islander, you need to be tough. You need to know how to live on your own. And, so that's where it comes from too, and I'm happy that now it's being talked about, it's being pushed. There's national month, national days for it now, and for the men's health awareness, all that good stuff. So we just got to keep pushing, guys. Keep pushing out information, educate people. That's the only way things will change. But before we move on, I want to give a shout out. Well, before that, if you guys are just new to the show, new to the family, please subscribe, like, comment down below, share the love, share the video, because that's what we do here.
Share.
We are talking about men's mental health. If you guys want to, join the conversation, you can chat with us. I'll flash it up on the screen, and we'll answer your questions if you have any questions. But a shout out to my brother-in-law. He says, "What's up, fellas? Glad you guys are talking about this."
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
What's up?
On our minds, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good topic.
It is.
It's funny. The word mental, the first 3 letters is men.
Yeah, right.
That it is.
It's made for us men. We need mental health.
Yeah. But I mean,
there's one thing I wanted to say though about like before you move on, like
okay.
about being a superhero. So my grandfather, my dad, my paternal grandfather, my dad's dad, he fought in World War II, then came back, worked in the rice mill until he retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it wasn't until he got into his retirement that he really started to like slow down for real, and really like start to unpack things and the way he was in his life and all those things. Because in his later life, before I was even born, my dad would tell me about how he would talk to them, tell them different stories, tell them about life, and give the younger men the perspective of an older man. And I got the same thing when I came along, because my dad was like 34 when he had me. And then I grew up around him, his friends, his older like male friends, and then just older men in the community. And I really think that's something that us as growing and older men, we need to still nurture, like that environment where, hey, we don't really care about what the world has to say. We're worried about just being good men and good people. Let me tell you how. And I think that's really important. And then another thing is like, I read a lot about, and should have just talked to older men about things, but I feel like we need to get away from that whole work all the time, provide all the time, because one, that our identity shouldn't be defined by just what we can provide. We should just be defined by the things that make us happy and make us whole. I'm pretty sure if you ask every man, they're not going to be like, oh, that works a like really physically strenuous job. They'd be like, oh, this job completes me and it makes me happy. And if you ask them what did make them happy and complete them, they probably couldn't answer you. And that's sad. Because what kind of life is that we're destined to have? So you tell me I have to not be able to express myself. I have to work for the rest of my life, hard labor, just can't spend any of my money, marry somebody, but then have to take care of them and don't have any say over a lot of things. And then at any point, my freedom can be taken from me. Then I have to do all this until I'm old, have my body worn down, not be able to move, not be able to walk. For a lot of the times, like a lot of our dads and grandpas did, and then just die. That's not a life I want to live, bro. I'm not doing that.
That wouldn't be considered
100%.
life.
That's not life. That's prison. That's a prison outside of a jail. So it's like
that's what they call the rat race. You know what I mean?
No, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all you're doing is just working and busting your ass, and all you got to show for it is, you know, just some money, you know, and money is not what makes what makes you happy, truly. You know what I mean? Your life should be defined by your passions and what you love to do. You know, your sports you're interested in. You know, and that's really helped me with my mental health stuff, is keeping the body active, you know, weight training, going out to the beach, you know, barbecues with family. You know, that's what truly defines you as a man. You know, the time you spend with the people you love.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm glad you guys went this direction, because I was actually going to talk about kind of keeping it in the superhero theme again. A lot of us here, you know, or a lot of us did or know someone that did, obviously. We're in the military, you know, and that's another thing on top of that. You join the military, they tell you that you got to tough it out, be hard, keep running, don't stop, get up and keep driving, you know. So that's just another stress to your body, adding on to that. Plus being depressed, you're away from home, and you're trying to fight all those different emotions, right? And and I think that's another thing with going that direction with military, you know. We know that there's a lot of veterans that are dealing with mental illness because of that reason, you know.
Absolutely.
They're away from their family for so long, then they go straight, they come back, they try to adapt. After they kind of adapt, they get deployed again. You know what I mean? It's like a never-ending cycle until you decide. And this kind of goes to like what Leo was saying too, is why are you really doing this, right? Because you don't want to be away from your family. I know that 100%.
Yeah.
You want to be there. And going back to, you know, we have to provide and protect, right? So, and that's what we're kind of like taught as we're growing up and as young men. Like, you need to provide and you need to protect your family at all costs. You know what I mean? And then you're over now you joined the army or the military, and now you're protecting your country. And now you're doing, what are you really doing this for? Are you really happy what you're doing? Because, or you just, most people, and I know because of experience, and then I know a lot of family members that did it, we do it just to get out of the islands and make money, right? We have no other choice but to leave the islands just to provide, because we're trying to provide, even just for ourselves, you know. And we always just think that that's the easy way, and because we really didn't have a lot of options on Guam. So but a lot of people take that route just to make money, and that's why they're doing it. And then they're not really happy, and before you know it, your disability's at 100, and you can't go running no more, you can't go swimming with your family no more, you can't do different things anymore, you know. So I just wanted to throw it out there because you guys kind of went that direction.
It's good.
You know, with the military, you know, it is all about that embracing the suck factor. You know what I mean? Which is great when you're out there in the battlefield, and you know, because you got to, you know. But when you come back to garrison, when you come back to you know, the stateside, you know what I mean? It's time to reset not only your equipment and, you know, all your shit and your training, but you got to reset your mind. You know what I mean? You got to reset who you are, you know, because it's very important. You know, you came in as, you know, Joe Schmo, and you want to go out as Joe Schmo too. You know what I mean? You still want to be that same person, or have a little bit of that self identity of who you are when you join. You know what I mean? And when I was getting out, in my experience, you know, I said, fuck it. I mean, I didn't give a fuck, dude. I was like, look, I'm getting out and nobody's going to take care of me but myself. You know what I mean? Not my platoon sergeant. I mean, not my commanders. So I went ahead and I did the whole shebang, man. I did fucking appointments and all that kind of good stuff, you know, just to get my mind right, prepare me for when I was getting out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing too, you know, like you really just got to say, you just got to learn how to say fuck it and do the things that are right for you.
Yeah, that's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Because if you don't do that shit, then nobody's going to do it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you want to get treatment for mental health, you know what I mean? If you feel like you are depressed, that's another thing too, man. It doesn't matter who tells you, hey man, I think you should go see a specialist, or, you know what I'm saying, I think you should talk it out. It's up to that individual to want to do it.
That's
you know
right.
I mean? So mental health is a huge self-responsibility, you know, that you got to constantly check yourself and check the people around you. But ultimately, it's up to that individual to get the help they need.
I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, I'm 47 years old and I've been battling depression my whole life. You know, it's when you're diagnosed with depression, I mean, it's not something that you get cured from. You have it your whole life. You know, you're battling it your whole life. And you need to cope with it, and you know, like you find ways to cope with it. So, I mean, like what you said, I just started medication last year. You know, like what you said, I just said, fuck it. I never took medication because I was thinking like, oh, I took it when I was younger. I thought it helped out a lot, but I think it didn't do that well. So I was like, you know what? But I'm glad I'm glad last year I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do it. You know, the doctor's going to, you know, prescribe it to me. I'm going to try and see what goes. Ever since I've been on it, I feel like there's been a change, you know, like maybe it was the right thing that they've been giving me. I don't know if it's a placebo or it's just in my head. But since I've been taking it, I've been feeling much better, you know, because I've just been seeing things differently.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And that's good. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. You know what I mean? Because it's really a chemical imbalance that's inside your mind.
Oh, yeah.
You know? You know, and there's a lot of contributing factors, too. You know what I mean? There's external depression. There's also that depression where it is a physical imbalance in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whichever one it is, a combination of therapies, as far as like this, like communicating with your brothers, you know, is very important. You know what I mean? You got to let people know that you're going through some stuff, you know what I mean? So they can help you along your journey. You know, they're not going to hold your hand, but they're going to, you know, they're going to definitely, hopefully guide you in the right direction. You know, I always like to say nowadays, you know what I mean? Positive activities with positive people, you know, that's the key for me to have a healthy social life, a healthy life. You know, you just gotta put yourself out there, you know what I mean, and try to you know, communicate to the people that you're around that this is what you're about. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're not about like this craziness. You're not about like, you know, getting into some fucking crazy shit. You know, and honestly, that's the way we want to live our lives. We want to live happy and healthy. You know?
Yes.
I think one thing I strongly suggest for any of us and then any men that are watching, pick up a journal and write.
Yeah.
Because I have like journals in my house because I've been through a lot of things in my life, and my mom taught me how to read and write before I went to school, and ever since that point, she's always told me, son, the world's not always gonna in different ways at different times in my life. This has always been the message from her, son. You are a black man. At any point, someone see you as a threat, as a criminal, and you won't always be able to express yourself to everyone. Everybody's not going to be accepting of you, but get around the people that will accept you, and then also just write it down so you can figure it out. You ain't gonna. I'm from the country, so she would say things like, well, you ain't gonna do nothing but hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. Holding all that in, hold it in, let it out. And then she would go, she would talk about it from a faith perspective too. Because she would say, she would say, I can't, what did she say? I can't stand when people say men can't cry and they make them weak and all that other stuff. Jesus wept. So the man that bled on the cross for us cried, but no other men can cry. How that make sense?
Right.
So she said, like, cry if you need to cry. Call somebody, talk right, do what you need to do.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, like Kevin said something about we're shown to work out our problems by ourselves, right? You got to find people that are going to help you work that problem out.
Yeah.
I think when boys are brought up, and even in society, it's like you have a problem, you figure it out by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that leads into your social life. That also leads into your relationships, your friendships, your brotherhoods.
Mm-hmm.
If people can tell when something's wrong with you, especially if you got a close friend and a spouse, right? They can tell, and they're asking you for a reason. They're asking you because they know something is wrong. And instead of
absolutely,
I used to do it. Like my wife would be, or then girlfriend, she was like, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing. And I would always say, "I don't want to boggle you with my issues or my problems. I have to figure it out for myself." And I was hurting myself in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to have friends too. It's gonna allow you to talk and be that ear. You know.
Yeah. I just came over here. What was that, last week?
Yeah.
Me and Brandon talked for like 2 hours, and that's all I needed.
Yeah.
Just somebody to like talk about stuff with, and even like it was like last year, last year.
Hey, Leo, hold that thought though. Hold that thought. We're gonna close this segment, all right? And I want to close it because we're gonna move into that. We're gonna transition to talking about it, right? Because when I was looking up mental illness and watching videos, I came across something about that. And there's two ways to talk about this. And we'll get into that. But I just want to close out this I am a superhero segment for mental illness with this. This was from a man. His name is Jordan Peterson. If you guys haven't heard about him, you guys should listen to a lot of things. You should watch his videos, listen to his podcast. He's a very intelligent man. But he says, I quote, "If you're sick, you do what is necessary to get better and leave your pride behind you."
That's right.
End quote. All right, so we're going to leave you guys with that. And we're also going to do some shout outs because we got some people joining us, people commenting from Seattle, Washington. We got Christopher Riarty. What's up, brother?
He's from Seattle and he got the 49ers blazing.
There you go.
He knows. See, he's making me happy already. We got
what's up,
Frank.
Chris?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Frank Guetta. He's on again. What's up, brother? What's up?
Hey, what's up, Frank? Awesome show.
And our niece Mahea is on.
Hi, Mahea.
How you doing?
Hey,
How you doing?
Hello.
And then Frank says, pick up a joint and relax.
Hey, we can talk about it.
We can talk about that too. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna take different ways to cure yourself. But,
reading and writing and all that ain't the only thing.
Oh yeah. No, it's not. Not at all. There's 1,000 things to cure your brain.
Oh yeah, exactly. And one of those things where we're kind of getting into was let's talk. And the reason why I put this in here is because, like I said, I was watching a YouTube video. It was actually off of TED Talk. I don't know if you guys ever seen that on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there was a female on there. She was saying, we don't talk about it enough. Again, we're talking about men's mental health. She was talking about her experiences with losing her family members. But because we don't talk about it. And to me, and she made a great point, we don't talk about it even in the beginning stages of a young man's life, like our kids, our sons, right? But what we do talk about a lot is what do we try to get them not to do? Have sex, right? We talk about sex because why? Because, and we always wait for that age, right? Like, is he ready? Is he ready? Is he ready? Hey, you need to strap it up because there's all these STDs, blah blah blah. We're letting everything out the bag, so we feel that in our mind that, hey, if I keep telling him this, tell him how nasty it is, that maybe he just might not do it, right? Or she, right? Or your daughter. But we open up and we tell them all that information. But why is it so hard for us to tell them about mental health? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. That's what she was just saying. Like, we do need to start talking about it even at that point.
Well, mental health is tough to talk about. It's something you never
absolutely
show your vulnerability, never want to show your weakness. For me,
But
when I was starting out, it was hard for me to talk about it. I could never talk to my friends or my family. I was like, I could never do it. I didn't want to do it. So for me, I went and talked to a therapist because, they finally broke down, and I said, you know what, I got to talk to somebody. And I talked to I actually started, they have these like phone-in therapists. I don't know if you guys remember that when I was younger, but you could call a number and talk to somebody. And for me, it was easier for me to talk to a stranger, someone who doesn't know me, and tell them everything about me and my deepest, darkest secrets, because I'm talking to somebody who doesn't know me, who I don't feel is judging me with everything I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you could be open as much as you want to a friend or to a family member, but in the back of your mind, you're always wondering, what do they think about you with everything that you told them? That's going to be in the back of your mind. You can't shake it. So you're never fully open with the ones that you love, because you don't want them to look at you differently than you don't want them to see you differently. So it's hard to talk about these things that's going to make you look different in their eyes. And it is hard, and it took me a while before I could even open up and talk about this openly right now. I mean, I'm 47 and I finally can admit all the problems that I have. But in my 20s, everything was good. I was like the life of the party. Nothing was wrong with me, man. I would go to parties, I would liven up the parties. I would be, just good. And then, the next day they find out I'm in the hospital because I tried to kill myself, and nobody knew what was going on because I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's scary to talk to people, but you gotta just suck it up. Like Kevin said, fuck it. And when I did that first call to that therapist, and then I started talking to more therapists, and at least once a year, I mean not once a year, but every year, I always try to talk to a therapist, and then just to check in. I always want to check in and just what I'm going through, because then I can. Therapists are good to talk to because you can tell them things that you don't feel judgment from them, and also you can just say a lot of things to them, and they'll listen. Like when you talk to your friends and family, and you tell them your problems, a lot of times your friends and family is gonna try to relate to you and tell you about their problems. Oh, I go through the same thing, and then you're like, well, I'm trying to talk about myself. I don't know. I don't want you to relate to me. I don't want you to. I just want to talk about myself. Can you just listen? No, but let me tell you what
listening is definitely important.
Yeah, and I think that's
the key.
Yeah, that's why I like talking to a therapist.
That's the key. Listening, honestly, is really key. If you're trying to help somebody get through some shit, just listening to them you don't even have to say a word. You know what I mean? But if you're just there intently listening, it makes the person feel more vulnerable and able to share what they're actually going through.
Yeah, that's
it's just like a open ear, man, is like open arms. You know what I'm saying? You can't fucking go wrong with that. Somebody that's not going to keep on talking like back at you and try to give you advice of how to resolve the whole issue. That it helps. You know what I mean? Just a listening ear. And the person doesn't even have to say anything back to you. Until you're ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, okay, say something.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Don't try to fix me. Please stop trying to fix me.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. Go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
I mean, dude, everybody has a little fucking something going on in their head. You know what I mean? Everybody, every man, every woman. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, man, there's not a thing or just not a person out there like, oh shit, I got everything right in this world.
Right.
I got everything. I'm good, man. I'm fucking cherry. You know what I'm saying? There's always something that's going to be inside your mind that's going to it could be a fear. It could be, something that haunts you from your past. It could be, something that you're afraid to do right now. You know what I mean? But guaranteed, man, like everybody has some fucked up shit going on in their head. It's just all about managing how you deal with it.
Yeah.
That's right.
If you manage it, in a positive manner, that's what is really important. Managing your problems in a positive manner. Exercise, fucking reading books, keeping a journal, anything, dude. Anything that's positive that keeps you from repeating the negative behavior associated with depression. or mental illness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as you don't go down that extreme road of trying to take your life or harm somebody else, you know, those are important things to always fall back on and keep on doing, you know, the positive activities for sure.
Yeah.
You know, y'all say the you say you had depression and everything. I wonder how that just makes me wonder how many men in their lives and have gone without even acknowledging that they were depressed.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like sometimes like men may lash out and harm someone, harm their partner, harm their children, whatever. But what they really needed was just someone to talk to. But because they didn't know how to talk to somebody, or they didn't want to jeopardize their manhood by doing so, they just ended up hurting everyone around them and caused pain. And like you may hear people talk about generational curses, generational trauma, like, and I feel like that's what a lot of us have, this generational pain that got passed down. And people didn't either acknowledge it or unpack it or try to resolve things, they just kept moving and told their children, these things are true. Yeah. But it's based off of some projection or some experience that they had.
So with the question about how many men do you think go out throughout their life not knowing that they're depressed, I think,
man, you know, honestly, I want to say that there's probably more of them than there are of the men that actually admit they have some sort of problem.
Yeah, because we conditioned to have all that ego.
Thought. Yeah, indeed. No, indeed.
Yeah, like
absolutely.
Boys, let's keep it a band, bro. Like boys be moving all in their ego. Like a lot of people we're talking about men right now, so I'll keep it here. But a lot of men have ego-driven decision making. Yep. That's just like, oh, this is gonna make me look. Hey, I'm gonna be hot shit. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be the man if I do this. When in reality, look like a clown, bro. Yeah, real goofy.
Right.
Yeah. Give him some big shoes and a small car, bro. The boy a clown.
Big shoes and a small car.
No, like, because I see it like and I'm black, so I'll talk about black culture for a second. Like, I see, like, in my culture, like, the people with all the big chains and the cars and money and all that. And I'm like, bro, does all that really define who you are as a man? Do you need all that? Or where's your love ethic? Where's your love for yourself and your community? Like, you just show you giving a lot of insecure right now. Like, and I'm pretty sure in y'all culture, y'all have the similar thing. Like, a man does something flashy or has a bunch of jewelry. I don't know how big jewelry is in Islander culture, but it's big in black culture for a myriad of reasons, right? Because we come from, because of what we come from, but still, like, all the just all of that programming to just be the biggest man, be the strongest, have the most money, have the most resources, do whatever you got to do to get it, like sell the most drugs, be the best, whatever, right? In a very unhealthy way. And it's just so destructive. And when I see it from a lens of older people, because those are the people that raised me, like I said. And I would listen to them when they would talk to me, and I was like 5 or 6 years old, listening to these 50-year-olds talk, and 40, 50-year-old people talk, and just say, that man isn't happy. That man is insecure. No, because I know old people, they just say what it is. It don't matter what culture you're from. Old people just want to talk. They don't care. So I would see those things and understand, like, I don't want to be like that. Yeah. I don't want to feed into my ego and be killing myself trying to fit up to trying to satisfy some standard that I didn't even set. I'll chill. Yeah. I'll be vulnerable. I'll read. I'll play music. I'll do math. Whoever with it, and whoever not, hey, keep it pushing.
That's good. I wonder when can I start saying things like Leo said? You know, when old people can say anything they want. When can I start doing it?
I feel like you can do it, but it just depends.
I can do it. All right, I'm gonna start doing it. Yeah,
as long as you're like,
I do it all the time. No,
I'll be like, I don't know. I always like feel bad if I say anything negative to somebody though.
No, but it's not negative though. Like,
yeah, it's like being real, but for me it sounds like I'm putting them down. But it's hard.
well, some people can't handle being told the truth or
yeah,
about
a lot
those
of people
truths.
get
So
me.
you gotta take
be,
people.
Yeah, I can't handle being told the truth. I tell people lie to me. Don't tell me. don't tell me my breath stinks. Just lie to me. Just turn your head away or anything. But yeah, don't tell me the truth. Because I know the truth. I know my breath stinks.
Yeah. And
I'm not in the business of lying, so I'll be like, hey, tell me the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth too. But that keeps me peaceful though. Like I don't have to hide a piece of myself. I don't try to do nothing. And if somebody tells me something, I listen to it. And if I hold on, if somebody that I value their opinion tells me something, I'll listen. But if not, bro, get that out of here.
That's good.
And I think going off what Junior was talking about, it's hard for us to talk about those things and be vulnerable. And I think what she was getting at was we need to change that as men now. Like, we need to talk to our kids about that, to be like, hey, it is not, it's not weird that you open up to me and break down to me or your mom. And, we're not going to think any less of you, or anyone. Don't kind of like, who cares what anyone thinks of you? Just be yourself and open up and let them know about that mental health or mental illness does exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that these are ways that it can affect you. And, just educating them like that. That's what she meant was like we're real quick to give them all their information about sex, but with this subject, we're not, because we're not. I mean, we're just doing it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I tell my kids all the time. I said, look,
exactly.
I know it's hard to talk to me. Like I'll ask them. I said, hey, you want to talk about stuff? And I know I said, look, I know it's hard to talk to me about anything. Yeah. But I really think you should talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be me, but you need to talk to somebody. Reach out to somebody, someone your age, someone that you can talk to and be open about, because you can't keep it in. If you're feeling, angry about something or sad about something, you need to talk it out with somebody. It's hard for kids to talk to their parents. They never want to be open to their parents too. So, but I tell my kids, I tell EJ, I tell Tasi, Issa, I say, look, you need to talk to somebody. I know you don't feel comfortable talking to me or telling me things, but you need to talk to somebody and just let them know what you're going through and all that. And I tell them what I went through about talking to people. I always tell them like how I love to talk to therapists, because they just listen. They don't try to solve my problems. They listen. Because they know, because I'm the number one person who does that. If you start talking to me, I'm gonna try to solve your problem. I'm like, I do the one thing that I hate when people do to me. I hate it when they do it to me, but I'm the one who does it to them. Like if someone comes to me, so anybody listening, if you guys come to me with a problem, I'm gonna try to solve it. Be like, look, I think I know what your problem is. But that's what my kids, I know my kids don't like telling me stuff, because, I said, I don't want you solving it, Dad. I just want you to listen. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. But I said, but I still talk to somebody and just talk it, because you need to talk it out and get it out. Because a lot of times when I talk to therapists, like sometimes they don't even tell me anything. They don't even solve it. I talk so much that I end up, solving it myself,
That's the key.
So much that I end up solving it myself.
And Junior, that's what it's about, man. That's exactly what it's about. Because it's kind of like a computer, how you optimize a computer, you know what I mean? How you clean up the memory, how you do all that shit. So self-vocalizing your issues, right? Even if you're just talking to somebody, it helps you to reorganize your thoughts and the things that you want to do. You know what I mean? A big part of me when I came out of active duty, you know what I mean? I served 8 years in the Army, active duty, 2 tours, you know what I mean? And I didn't like the person I was becoming. You know what I mean? I was becoming a fucking like a maniac, dude. I was going through a lot of shit at the time, personal things, divorce, passing of loved ones, and and the deployments too, you know what I mean? So I was fucking like losing my shit, but going through therapy and all that kind of stuff, and really just self-reflecting on who I want to be to the people that I still love and I still care about that are out there. You know what I mean? You know, my family, my mom, my dad, you know, aunties, uncles, cousins, sisters, you know, everybody. I asked myself, like, do I want to be this person, you know, in their face? Do I want to be this person that's fucking crazy, you know? And ultimately the answer should be no. You know, you don't want to be a mess. You know, you don't want to be a maniac, a hothead, you know, and reckless, you know. So like from there, you know, just acknowledging that should be the step forward already for you to do a positive action, so you get positive results. You know, taking care of yourself, you know, talking to somebody. Hell, even talking to yourself, man. Just as long as you don't answer yourself. You know, talking to yourself is fine. You know, it's definitely, you know, it's a way to go sometimes. You know, you're really just processing a lot of the information that's stuck in your head. You know.
You know, it's while I was listening to you, to everyone like talk, I was just trying to think of like what's so good about this conversation, right? And why are we doing this now? And it's somewhere in our life like Junior was saying, he was diagnosed with depression, and you know, Kevin was in the military, John was in the military, I was in the military, and it can really tweak your mental. And one, I feel like sometimes men don't understand or understand the feeling of depression, and they think it's just like I'm overwhelmed, or it feels just like anxiety, you know.
Yeah, or they just think it's normal to feel that way.
Yeah, right. It's normal because we weren't brought up to communicate that kind of like understand and analyze that kind of emotion.
Yeah.
So with us talking about this, you know how they say like, oh, we need to break the circle. We need to break the circle of such and such. And I heard something saying, instead of saying break the circle, you need to expand it. Because we're keeping that half of the circle intact of our past, so we can learn from it, right? And grow from it. And I think now that we're doing this, we're going to be able to have that talk to our boys, our children, even our girls, so they can understand, hey, you know, mom, dad, we went through this and we're trying to navigate life to make everything better for you, so that way they can pass it on and just continue it. Because I think it was a lot of like toxicity growing up, because our parents didn't. Our parents didn't know that, you know. They thought it was
not at all.
It was right because that's what they saw and that's what their parents saw. So that's I saw something. It was a drawing, and you can see like a parent. I don't want to say if it's a mother or a father, but it's like a stairwell. So you see the authoritarian figure pointing down at the person saying you're stupid, and then the next one is pointing, and then it's kind of make at the last end it shows as if it's you shielding your child from all of that, so that way they can live a healthier life, that way they can live a happier life, and they can communicate to you as parents, you know. Like Junior was saying, he wishes that his kids do that, and I'm sure they'll come to you at some point, Junior. It's just their mental right now is like, I don't know if I can talk to mom and dad about this, you know. So I guarantee you they're going to their friends to talk about it, and then their friends, some may not be even at a healthy place. No,
not at all.
Yeah, so it goes in a
circle. They're going, especially with young ones too, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're young, you're going through all the same things that your peers are going through. So asking them for advice is probably not the way to go. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, it behooves us to definitely instill in our children, you know what I mean, to talk to their elders. You know what I mean? You know, and Junior, and that's when you can pull the whole like, yeah, boy, I told you so. You know, you know, you know, impart knowledge on them, you know, through our experiences and the resources that we have. you know, to make them more better at communicating issues that might arise in their life, you know, their future life. You know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my kids to find a friend like Leo. They need a friend like Leo in their lives.
Or even just set them
No,
around
indeed,
old
man.
people.
Indeed. Indeed.
No, for real, because that's how I learned. I had very progressive parents that didn't try to make me, because they were still progressive, but still like operating within the old systems. Because my dad and mom are nowhere near perfect, but what they did was they were conscious of how they needed to raise a child. Because I'll never forget, my dad told me to live for the time you are in, live in the situation you are in, and also raise your kids for the times you're in. Like the way my grandpa raised him and my uncle. There's no way my dad could have raised me that way. I didn't even get beatings and stuff like that. Like I joke about it and stuff because like probably shouldn't be joking about it, but it's fun. It's fun too, right? But in reality, my parents sat me down and talked to me more than they did anything else. And that's why my communication is what it is now, because anytime I was like a baby or a toddler and throwing a tantrum, or I had big emotions, like they helped me sit through them and then just help me with it. And then the older folks that I was around, like at church and all that, like they helped me as well, because I've spent an awful lot of time in church growing up, and I wasn't always around my parents. So I had a deacon and his wife, well, two deacons and their wives, like that I really paid attention to for majority of my childhood. And that was another healthy, those were other healthy, loving relationships where they challenged the systems and the ways that a lot of men are conditioned. Like I didn't see them argue too much, like, and they were playful with each other. They loved each other. They were emotional with each other in public and like within each other. They spoke well of each other. Like they were very good examples of just old school love. Like, and that transcends culture. That's why I didn't say black, because they were black, but just that old school type of like really, really loving someone, like, and being there for them. Like a lot of, and it goes to like a lot of the music I was raised on too. Like the music, I don't even listen to music after the year I was born a lot. I was born in 93. The majority of the music I listen to is like 80s, 70s R&B and soul and love.
Yeah.
Like, because my dad is, well,
some good
stuff. He was born in like 59, so he grew up like with Motown, and like he was in his 20s, like the age I am now, during the entire 80s. So he got to experience like Morris Day and the Time and the Commodores and Earth, Wind and Fire, like when it was in Cameo and all those, and Frankie Beverly and Maze and all that when they were out. Like, so you could go to a spot and hear that.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's the music I was raised on. That's the type of love and the way I learned how to express myself as a man. I didn't learn from hurt men, I'll say that, from wounded men how to love. I learned from loving men how to love.
Yeah,
I feel like how your parents raised you, like that's how me and my wife are raising our son EJ. So I think EJ is gonna turn out like you, Leo.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling Mav, like, I mean not Mav, telling Brandon and Esther about Mav, like I want him to be like shit better than me. Yeah, because I've been able to. I feel like I'm just a younger version of my parents that went to college and has different ways to articulate things. I still mess up. I'm nowhere near perfect, just like them. But for the next generation, I want to have the same type of relationship I have with my parents. Like I can talk. There was separation between the child, me and them, but there was still like a lot of love. And then even as I got older, like, and as soon as I left for college, my parents were like, all right, we got you, we love you, but you got to go out there and do your own thing. But we're always here for you. We're going to pray for you. And they just let me go and talk to me, pray for me. Like I went to school. I'm the first person in my family to go and engineering too. On top of that, I would tell my parents like, oh, like I have this test and we're doing this subject in math and whatever. They'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but we're gonna pray for you. Go ahead. But like they became more of like advisors and really friends. I became really good friends with my parents as I got older.
That's good.
And that's good.
I didn't have resentment. Really I didn't have pain. I didn't have this barrier between us. It was really simple to walk into.
It's very important to when you talk to your folks and when you look at your folks too, to also realize that they're human beings as well. I think some people, they look at their parents and they just think mom and dad, that's mom and dad. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they fail to break it down to as the individual aspect of who they are as a being, as a person. Yeah. To look at your mom and dad as people who are imperfect and that make mistakes and stuff like that is definitely important. And to realize that they are people, and to understand their personalities of who they are is definitely very important. And it brings you closer to them. It definitely makes things more, it gives you a better eyes view of how to approach things in that manner. How to be that way yourself with your children.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just like humanizing your parents, like you said,
absolutely,
as their own entity, not just your mom or your dad, your caregiver, or whatever. No, like my parents were just country folks living their lives, going out, like just living their lives, and they decided to come together, have a child. I was very much planned, very much intentional with how I came to be, and I don't even think there was ever a point to where like I didn't see them express themselves just being themselves. They're still my parent, but they'll dance, they'll sing, they'll cry, they'll be happy, they'll just be themselves. And I was there along the ride to see how to see them in that. So, and I feel like we should know our parents more intimately close to anybody else, other than their partner.
Absolutely,
we should know them more than anybody else.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
But some people, I will say though, like my case is not standard case though. I do understand that. So I feel like what happens with a lot of men specifically, like they're not able to see their dad as a human being. He's just dad, like this
superhero.
Almighty, superhero, no feelings, no emotions. That's just dad. Yeah. And we respect him, but I don't know him. I don't know what he thinks. Like it's just dad. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in that,
I think we become maybe. Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, man.
I was just saying that message with your psyche.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was chiming in on that because I think when you're young, that's what you think. You know what I mean? That's what you think of. Your folks. I mean, they're almost like on this like pedestal or like on a status beyond understanding. But when you get older, you understand that you understand more, and you do get to break it down and humanize them, which is very important, because dude, ever since I got out of the army, you know what I mean, I'm like, my mom and my dad, they're like my best friends, they're my favorite roommates. For real, and they're just great, and I have the best time hanging out with them, and and I'm happy that I got out of the army, to really get to know them better.
That's right. That's good.
That is really good.
I feel like a lot of parents, like nowadays, like they're understanding that even though you're married or that you're a parent, you still need to have your identity as an individual. A lot of parents back then, once they became parents, they felt like they just needed to be a parent, no longer having a life, no longer being able to go out and just enjoy a day. And
do a podcast.
Do a podcast. Like your kids
absolutely
need, like Leo was saying, your kids need to see like who you are.
Oh yeah, right. They need it. They need to, for for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that, and I like to think that a lot of parenting methods have become very in tune with that. You know what I mean? Because you got to kind of demystify that. What is it called? It's an old Chinese philosopher, and it's really about
Confucius.
how Confucius. There you go. It's very Confucianism. You know what I mean?
Confucius.
Which is confusing all the time. But like Confucius, the guy was really. It was really about like really a not authoritarian, but more the father is what leads the household, and very very maternal, or excuse me, paternal centric. So the father leads the house, and his sons will soon inherit his his methods of doing so. But now, obviously we're not in freaking ancient China anymore. Hi, China. But, we're definitely, in the modern era where, we do explore different ideas in parenting, and also coping with mental health, and going about life in different fashions than we're traditionally taught.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, before we go on to our next segment on this topic of men's mental health, want to do some shout outs to some people that joined us again. And if you're new to the family, please subscribe, like, comment, share the love, because that's what we do here at the Islanders View. But shout out to Christopher Talada out of Seattle, Washington as well.
Off a day.
He is also
Chris.
a Seahawk fan.
Raider Nation. Where's the Raiders at?
Brother Frank says he goes fishing.
Oh yeah, that's
you go.
good.
Absolutely, man.
That's good. That's good therapy right there.
Yep.
That is.
But,
it really
but
is.
for our next topic, I want to go into kind of what you guys think, what your opinions are, or how you guys see the possibility of how you feel is the best way to treat men's mental health, and treating it, but sooner or later end it. You know what I mean? And I only bring it up because where did Kevin go? Kevin there?
I think he muted himself.
Did he mute
He
himself?
muted or
All right. Well, hopefully he comes back. Well,
bathroom break.
so the reason why I bring it up is because he's also on YouTube. There's a Dr. Daniel Amen, spelled Amen. But he has a theory on how to end men's mental health, or just mental illness, period. And what he says, and the reason why I put out check out my brain, is like what I was talking about earlier, is he feels like we go to the hospital all the time, we go to our doctor's appointments, we do all that, but they don't ever check our brain. And your brain is an organ, right?
Yeah.
And all we do, we always check our heart, we always check our liver, all that stuff. We never check our brain, right? So his theory in it is that, or how he feels your brain works, is your mind is created by your brain. So if you think of it, we go back to what Kevin was saying earlier about being a computer. He's like, your mind is the software and your brain is the hardware, right? So if you have something, you have an issue with your software, you want to check your hardware. There might be trauma in there somewhere in your brain that you need to like know that you have, right?
Yeah.
But he says, we don't do that much. And he feels that that's where that stigma comes from. The reason why people are scared, or men, majority is men, right? We're afraid to open up and talk about it, is because we have that stigma of it's in the mind, and that's it. It's
Yeah.
just your mind. You need to just change your mind instead of going to the doctor and actually checking your brain. You know what I mean? And if we think of it more of that in that aspect, he was saying, is he thinks that more men will be more comfortable and accustomed to opening up about mental health and the issues that they're facing.
Yeah,
Bro,
so
it's
that's interesting.
expensive.
Yeah, that's interesting though that you think about that, because I never thought of that, because your brain, like, I didn't think of it as separate from your mind, because your mind is strong. It's a very strong thing, your mind. Well, you can make yourself do a lot of things with your mind. When I was back in Hawaii, it's 2011, and I was working as an assistant manager at Walmart, and I started going through some health issues, like stomach issues. Like I started throwing up at work, having stomach pains, cramps. I started going to the doctor. I took off time from work, and this is going on for like 3 weeks. I think even 1 week I didn't eat for 1 week. And I got all these tests, like they checked my stomach. They did all the tests that they did they did a colonoscopy. They did everything to run these tests, and they found nothing wrong with me. Nothing was wrong with me physically. After all these tests, then they finally said maybe it's something with your mind. Maybe you're making yourself sick. And then I didn't even dawn on me that I did that. And then that's when I started doing therapy, because you think, when I was first diagnosed with depression, I thought I was healed, and then I was going through life, my life is going good, and I think everything's all right. But I think that I'm good. I got fixed. But then that happens, and then now I have to go and really check myself out again. So I think when you have like a mental health issue or anything wrong with you, you have to acknowledge that you do have a problem. Because then when you acknowledge you have a problem, then maybe you could find out what's wrong and try to get it corrected. But I never thought about just having my brain checked out. Like maybe there's some trauma in my brain or something.
Yeah.
That would be expensive though, right?
It is. It is, because I went to the doctor and I asked him about some things that were happening with me, and they did me a referral. I went to go get a CT scan, and they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be about $7,000." I said,
Gee.
Yeah.
It's just it's not covered, or half of it is not even covered by the insurance, and it's the insurance.
So take a $7,000 CT scan or take a $30 pill. So I'll just take the $30 pill, because that $7,000 CT scan sounds expensive.
And I don't know how like it works with different pills on depression, but can it where if you take one type of pill, it either fluctuates your emotions, and another one like subdues you?
Yeah.
So you're trying to find the right one to where you
find that right one. So this is like my second one I've tried. The first one I tried, it didn't really do anything to me. It was Prozac, and actually Prozac, I actually tried to commit suicide with the Prozac by taking the whole bottle of pills of Prozac. So like I felt like it wasn't Prozac. Like it wasn't working for me. So the Prozac didn't work, and then now I'm trying on this different medicine, and it seems to be doing its thing. I don't know if it's my mind again. My mind is telling me that I am feeling better, but I do feel different ever since I started taking it last year, and everything just looks different to me right now. But I'm never gonna think that I'm out of the woods. I'm never gonna think that it's gone. It's always gonna be there.
And that's what he was saying. You feel depressed. You feel like you have a mental illness, and like really all you do is like you go and you talk to someone, you see a psychiatrist, right? But are you really healing what's really wrong with you? And that's why he's saying, like, you got to check everything. Check the software and check the hardware. Because if there's something really in your brain that's wrong with you, then you're not really getting to the root of the cause, right? You're just constantly doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And I think a good way to get to those roots is by doing routine maintenance, right? Like it's one thing to go figure out what the hell wrong with you, but once you know, then what, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah.
What I always recommend especially men, what I recommend is what I do every day. Like I get up, pray to God, tell him thank you for waking me up, and then I meditate and just let my mind go where it wants to go. And it can be scary sometimes because we all have our stuff, like you said. But I still allow my mind to go there and allow myself to explore and feel every emotion that comes. And then where I'm at the day, sometimes I do check-ins multiple times a day. But I do it at least twice a day. First when I wake up, meditate, and then do what I got to do for work or whatever I got going on. And then check myself again. Check myself while I'm working out. Check myself while I'm reading. Check myself while I'm just resting and relaxing. Because I think the most beautiful thing is for your mind just to be calm.
Mm-hmm.
And I strive to
Indeed.
maintain that as much as I can. We can't always keep it, but and that's actually something my dad instilled into me early, because we would go fishing at least once a month when I was growing up, and we would just sit out there. Sometimes he would talk. I mean, sometimes we would talk, but a lot of the time we was out there chilling, just listening to nature, letting the wind blow, catching the fish, not catching the fish. It really wasn't for sport. It was just to chill, because that was one of my dad's safe spaces, just to be, because he went through things too, like on the job, just being anxious, just regular life things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know how to articulate things in a way that we do. So and he taught me, just when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling anxious, when you just need to release, just go do something that you like we were saying. And that's part of maintenance. Like your maintenance on your mental health can look like whatever it looks like for you. For me, it's like I said, it's reading. I do CrossFit, I work out. I'll go on a walk in nature. I'll play some music, make music, whatever. I play instruments and things. So it's just whatever I feel like doing that day, or just talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. I'll pull up on my friends. hey, what you doing, bro? I mean, holla for a minute. Like, it's finding those ways and finding your community that's big, because I feel like, just like I said, like y'all are saying, finding that thing, finding out what's wrong with you, finding out your roots, the roots of what's going on with you is one thing, but working through those things and trying to maintain your peace and in the chaos is the biggest thing.
You know what I like to do to keep my mind at rest? I like to do housework.
Hey, bro, whatever it is.
I do. I like to wash dishes. I'll like do laundry, clean the kitchen, clean the living room.
You want to come to my house whenever you're depressed?
Yeah, if you want me to. But yeah, I don't know. Just like when I do housework, or if I'm washing the dishes or doing laundry, I'm keeping my hands busy, but my mind is free to just, be at peace and wander. And I start thinking all these things, but then I'm still keeping busy with my body, but just, I don't know. It really does bring me peace.
What kind of music do you put on when you clean, Junior?
No, I don't listen to music. I rarely listen to music. If I'm cleaning, I don't listen to music. When I'm driving, if I'm driving, I don't listen to music when I'm driving, or even turn on the radio. I just like to be with my thoughts.
Sometimes that's good. I do
that too.
Yeah. I just don't like. I'm just not. Me. I love music. I love singing, but I don't like listening to music too much.
I used to do. There's two things that I used to do heavy whenever I felt as if life was just getting heavy or my mental wasn't there. I used to either I still do go take photos, but taking a drive, taking a long drive around the city here in Texas during the summer, and just like listen to music, roll your window down, and let the sun beat on your hand.
Oh, that's nice.
I guess we're from the island, but you feel the sun beat on your hand and the warmth, like the wind on your hand is like you're alive, right?
Yeah.
It's funny that you bring that up, because like I was saying with this Dr. Daniel Amen, he talks about that, about your hand. If you think about certain things, right? And he said he did some test, and he shows people pictures, or he has them think about stuff, and if you think about your hand over a fire, over the flame, your hand, right, you're thinking about it, it gets warm, and your brain reacts to it however your hand is feeling. So he's saying, like, if you do something like that, then it's going to calm you down, it's going to relax your mind, all that good stuff. And he said, but if you think about something that makes you nervous, you think about your dad, that your dad's pissed off at your ass or whatever, your hand gets cold. And he's like, we ran all this tests, and it's just crazy that that you brought that up about beaming your hand in the sun and warming up your hands, because that's exactly what he said.
Or you put your hand in warm water, right? Then it makes you pee in your sleep.
Is it warm water or cold water?
I think it's cold, isn't it?
I think it's
I don't
cold. I don't know. Whoever's watching and listening, let us know what it is.
Google it.
It's
Google
whatever.
it. It's whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's why-
Leo? Leo said
I'm
warm.
sure
He's
it's-
an
I'm sure it's
engineer, so
warm
Leo-
water.
Yeah.
No, I said it.
I think it's warm water.
Oh no.
Yeah, like Leo was saying, I don't know, man. Like you're saying, John, is there a day for like National Men's Appreciation Day?
There's
Yes,
men's-
Father's Day.
No. There's another one.
Father.
Father.
It's definitely Father's Day.
No, there is a men's. I forget when it was.
well, I know that
International Men's Day. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know there's well, like I said earlier, it was that June, which is National Men's Health Day, which is like exercising and staying healthy.
Yeah.
And then November is National Men's Health Awareness, which is mental illness, cancer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's the two. I don't know about any other national men's besides Father's Day.
But you know,
Yeah.
But even on Father's Day, we don't get no fireworks.
No, but what I'm saying,
gotta
okay, so
cook.
I was thinking about this today, right?
You
So
got a barbecue
Valentine's-
Father's Day.
Valentine's Day is coming up, right? And most
Mhm.
of the time, it's always the women that are getting appreciated, right? The man has to plan the date, the whole nine.
Which adds to our stress.
Have you guys ever gotten a
That's so
Valentine's Day gift? Has anybody ever gotten a Valentine's Day gift?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that.
I do all the
Brandon
time.
said it.
I've never gotten a Valentine's Day gift.
Really?
I always do.
Oh, Junior, come on, man.
Hey, Junior, you do. You just get it
Yeah.
at Christmas.
My wife-
That's your whole year. That's your
My
whole
wife
year.
is my Valentine's Day gift.
Hey, there you go.
No, that's a
That's
cop
all you.
out, bro.
That's all you
That's
need.
what-
I know she ain't hit you with that. Oh no.
In case she's watching.
In case you-
No, I'll say it for you. She did you dirty.
Oh man.
But I was gonna say, Junior, like it's because I've only been in my life, I've only been in one serious relationship. And in that relationship, I got Valentine's Day gifts, right? And it was a mutual thing. Like I gave her things for Valentine's Day, she gave me things. Like very heartfelt thing. It wasn't anything expensive, but we wrote each other letters and we spent time telling each other how much we loved each other and why we loved each other and to spend that time. And I think that's more of what that holiday was intended for. But in the Midwest, there's also this thing called Swedish Day, but I think it's in the fall. So it's kind of like just your Valentine's Day, but like mainly just for men.
Oh, really?
Because I think it's in the Midwest. I know it's in Michigan and Michigan and Indiana for sure.
And what was it called?
Swedish Day.
Oh,
Sweetest?
Swedish Day.
Nice. Well,
So, but I encourage any women watching to please gift your man with something for Valentine's Day, because it's low maintenance. No, for real, because it's low maintenance as we may seem. We appreciate.
we do.
affection and love.
I have no
gift.
I have no
Fine.
complaints. I get
Chocolates.
gifts all the time. So
Yeah,
Sorry,
like
guys.
and it should be an all time thing, right? Like it shouldn't just be on that
You're-
day.
yeah. Well,
Like it should be just a random day, and hey, like I thought about you. I wrote this. Or,
I think I might have gotten gifts, but I just can't remember. So, my wife just- I got
Sweetest
you
day
something. I'm
is-
like,
oh, you
On
just
October
forgot.
15th.
okay, yeah, I knew it was in the fall.
I have a terrible memory.
I want to do a shout out because my wife is on, Vaughn is on, and she says,
Hi, Bana.
"What stress, brother B?" And then she brings up Steve Harvey. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Steve Harvey, and I'm gonna paraphrase what he says, but because we're
God
watching
bless.
this thing, we're talking about 85% women and 15% for us. And Steve Harvey's argument with that is that, the women are the ones that stay home, take care of the house, take care of the children. They're the ones who run the operation of our family, right? And we That's why they deserve 85%, and we only deserve 50%.
You know, in my household, it's like a role reversal. In my house, I do all the cooking and the cleaning. I take care of the family, you know, and all that, and my wife, you know. So it's like a. So am I supposed to get the 85?
I'm thinking so. I'm thinking so.
I can tell my wife that then.
So. Yeah, let him. Well,
you guys got my
maybe
back?
not you tell her. We'll say it here, and maybe she'll hear it.
Hey, hey, honey, everybody said I gotta get 85.
85.
You know, it's crazy. Like when I started, I took on this role as you know, being the homemaker and stuff. It's tough, and you know, I think after a couple of weeks of doing it, I called my mom, and I just called my mom and said, "Mom, I just wanted to just thank you for everything." I said, "Man, you did it big, Mom, and I appreciate you. I only been doing it for a couple of weeks, and I'm dying." But it's been good. I gotta give props to, you know, the women who are housewives and the homemakers. You know, you guys really have a tough job, and for any man who does not appreciate you, it's just a shame, because it's a shame. You guys should do a role reversal. Let your man take over for a couple of weeks, and watch how he's gonna appreciate you more, because he probably won't be able to last a couple of days, I think. So just have him say, "Hey, you know what? You take care of everything," and he's just gonna throw in the towel.
Well, Bonna has a few words for you, bro. She says, brother Manny, yes, 85%.
Thank you, Bonna. Appreciate it.
Hey, bro, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get you an 85 jersey.
Hey,
that's for George Kittle.
My wife, you know, Bella already got me wearing the Frank Gore jersey, which Frank is still disappointed that I wore it.
we got a late join. Someone late came on to join us, Derby.
Oh yeah, get out of here, bro.
That's right. That's my wife's motto too. She says the same thing.
Come on, bro.
So you almost got 15.
Almost.
Nah, dog.
She the first time I heard that was when we went to Whataburger.
Yeah.
And she ripped open the bag and poured her fries on, and then took my fries and poured it on top of hers, and started eating it. And I was like, "Wait a minute," because she was like, "What yours is mine, and what's mine is mine."
Where was the consent? Who said I wanted to share these fries? Oh no. I hear giggling now. She's giggling now. Me and Ashley been friends for like, it's been over 10 years now. She'll reach in your bag and eat your fries up, bro.
That's one thing about me. I hate sharing food. My wife knows too, because she always gets mad when she takes something of mine and my face. I have that face, like, you know, and she's like, "What are you gonna make that face for? Why you gotta make that face for? I just want to have a face."
You didn't ask, and your hand is in my food.
The food is the way to the man's heart, man. That's the way it is, dude.
Food. You could have ordered the same thing.
I don't know how you get. I don't know if you guys are realizing something right now. This topic is about us. It's about men. And all of a sudden,
we start talking about women.
The females want to come on here and sabotage our topic.
Look at that.
Well, since they're on here, you can bring them into the conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, they're taking our 85%, guys.
Yeah.
Our 15%, actually.
We got to bring the women on so they can, you know, we can tell them how our mental health is affected by them.
Yeah. If y'all want to
absolutely.
I don't know how safe it is for y'all in your house, but we can talk about it if you want.
But hey, that was our topic of men's mental health.
No, I'm in the house. I hear her laughing in there.
Unless you guys got anything else to add, that is the end of our sesh about men's mental health, gentlemen.
Man, it's a long one tonight. Huh?
It
Awesome.
was.
It was a good one.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I appreciate it, guys.
It was 2 hours.
Almost. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh,
man.
Really good.
It didn't even feel that long, though. I could go another hour or two.
Right?
I know. Yeah, man.
Especially when we get in the groove. Hey, but I want to thank for everybody for joining us, watching and listening. Again, if you're new to the family, please subscribe, please comment, please like, please share the love, because that's what we do here at the Islanders View. We share the love, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank for brother Kevin and brother Leo for joining us. till next time, we got to do it again. We'll have to figure out some more topics, guys.
Yes,
But
yes.
I want to thank you guys for joining us. One love and God bless. We are out.
Chalofa.
Alofa. Peace.
Alofa.
Hey, where do you think you're going? You haven't left our minds yet. Again, thanks for watching and listening. And like we say on the islands, the first time you're a guest in our home, and after that, you're family. So welcome to the family. One love and God bless. Peace.